Hi, everyone. Welcome to Art and Talk. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Leslie Sue, the host for Art and Talk. If you're new to Art and Talk is an online interviewing platform for artists to share their art, their creativity, and their passion. We embrace all the arts and we focus on inspiring you. All right, so today we have a guest who's going to help us celebrate Valentine's Day, which is coming up right around the corner. And he is a poet, he's an author and a writer. We'll be exploring his book called Effortless Love, and he'll be reading a selection of poems, and he'll also be sharing some relationship affirmations that are also included in the book as well. All right, so we'll be looking at romantic love, celebrating Valentine's Day through our guest's book, Effortless Love. I'd like to welcome today's guest, Khary Tolliver. Hi, Khary, welcome.
Hey, Leslie, how you doing?
I'm good. All right, so we're excited to have you here and to explore your journey as a poet and take a look at your book to help us celebrate Valentine's Day and looking at romantic love, which is of course at any time of the year, but it's nice to kind of highlight the holiday coming up and exploring love. So what is effortless love? Before we get into the book, like how did this all begin? Because it's such a beautiful wording. I mean, looking at love as effortless, but in your words, what is effortless love?
To me, effortless love is just like having no effort to love someone. Like when you find someone, that woman or that man, to love them, it should be effortless. No effort at all to love this person. And of course, in relationships, you have to put forth some kind of effort. But like to just to love them, that should be effortlessly. When you find that one, you should love each other effortlessly.
And what are some of the guidelines to this effortless love that you want us to focus on? What are some of the ways that we can bring forth this love in a way that is effortless and true and authentic?
Well, when you meet that special someone, it should definitely be things that attract you to them. And that should make you want to love them effortlessly. It could be the way that they present themselves to you, how they treat you, things that, in the beginning of a relationship, you talk about, of course, your past, and then you talk about things that you hopefully have in common and how you want things to go in your relationship. And as you're going along, you're going out to eat and you're doing fun things. You might go hiking or whatever you may be doing. That's fun. You can even be playing putt-putt, but you're enjoying that time. And then you're seeing how this person is treating you and the things that they say, you're getting into their soul. They may say something that triggers something in you to like, you know what? This woman she's wonderful. And if the person that you're interested in is, if they're a parent, you see how they're being a parent and how loving and gentle they are to their parents, to their children, also to their parents and to their family and friends. And you see that, and that should spark something in you like, this is a beautiful person. And sometimes, well, not for everybody, but say for me, things like that makes me, I love this person. She's beautiful. Like she's all of these things to her family, children, and friends. Wow, I want to be a part of that because she's treating me with so much respect and love so far. So that should just make you fall in love and just want to love them effortlessly.
Yeah. Let's dive into the beginnings of your poetry journey, because in your bio, I found it so interesting that it happened, I believe it was your last year of high school, and it was through a class assignment that you kind of were brought into this world. Can you share the origins of your writing with us?
Yes, it's funny now thinking back on it. I was a senior in high school. It might have been one of our last class projects, but my English teacher wanted us to start a poetry journal. And I was like, I don't know nothing about poetry, a journal. I don't know what's going on. I think she's trying to fail me, keep me back. But she explained what she wanted, just our daily routine at home or things that's going on in life, and put it into poetry and make it like a poem journal. And I think I wrote one poem my first poem it's titled Me. And that poem, Me, it was kind of long. But still, I wrote that one. I wrote another one. I was so far ahead along in the assignment that my other friends, who some of them were slacking, would come to me for poems so they could hand in for their assignment. So I was writing that much. So I was writing for other people. There were some of them where I was giving them some of my poems. So, but it was, and I still write the same to this day. Like I write like I'm writing for myself. I never write for like an audience. You know, my thing is I write for myself first, and hopefully people will like it because I found that sometimes people can relate to what you're going through or talking about. So, and some of my poems are long to this day. Some people, why your poetry is so long? Because I'm putting a lot of thought and feeling into these poems. So that's why some of them are long, some of them are short, some of them are long, but it is what it is. It's what I put into it. But there's a lot of feeling and thought that goes into my poetry.
Mm-hmm. And what an interesting beginning, because you were, as you were saying, you were apprehensive. You were like, what is this? And then,
Yeah.
but thank goodness for that teacher, because it opened up now, several decades of your writing
Yes.
and evolution and books that you've published. And you really found a territory that you seem to resonate with. And early on, as you were saying, even some of your classmates were like kind of hitting you up. Hey, write this one for me too.
Yeah. Yes. And it became a outlet for me as well. Even after high school, I used poetry as an outlet, an emotional outlet. Things I'm going through, I might just pick up my pen and pad and start writing. It could be about anything. I wrote about my family that was, I think back during the time of Desert Storm, I was like, this war, wars are not good. And I was writing about war, writing about everything. And of course, love, I was writing about love. And then later on in the years, when I started doing books, I noticed that the love poems were getting more attention. And then that's when I just started doing just books full of love poems. And I'm a lover boy. So that came easy to me, so I just been writing love poems ever since.
This seems like a good moment. Let's pull up the cover of your book before we jump into it, and give me just
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Effortless Love.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you'd like to share with us about the book before we jump into some of your poems?
Well, again, it's love poems and relationship affirmations. In this book, my 7th book, this is the first time I put affirmations in it. I've never done that before. It's just some things that I started writing affirmations actually a long time ago, but I never kind of knew what I was doing with it. I was just going from experiences and other people's experiences. So it's not all about me. Even my poetry is not always about me. I could be talking to a friend or a family member. They can be expressing something to me, and I might just get an idea, or I can vibe off what they're telling me about their relationship, and I might can put it into poetry into my own, where I can manipulate it to make it just to make it beautiful, because I love hearing the beautiful stories about people's love and their relationship. I love it. I think love is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I love the visuals too, with the heart and the two hands holding and the rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I was trying to express effortless love, like trying to get that out there. Like if that's my way of doing it. And somebody else may have a different view of it, but that was just me. That the hands holding, and of course the rose in the heart, effortless love. It just seemed fitting.
Right. And when you hold someone's hand, that's just like effortless. That feels natural.
Yeah.
That seems to kind of coincide with, the meaning and the message that you're putting forth in your book as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. You're moving from when you first started to write, you were saying, which I think is natural. Focusing on yourself, your environment, family, what's going on, neighborhood, community, socially, etc. But then it sounds like you moved into also now, and correct me if this is incorrect, including the audience as well, because you were listening to other people in terms of like love and kind of getting feedback and incorporating this into your writing and kind of expanding that territory in the sense of where you're writing from. Is that correct? It sort of like has evolved to that?
Kind of, yes. I still write for myself. I listen, I pick up, and I still write like I'm writing for myself. Again, when I write, I kind of don't think about anybody else. I just write. And then, of course, when I'm done, I hope people like it or can relate to it. And like when I write, I just hope to make people think. I hope to touch them in some kind of way, positive, make them think. Uh, and just give ideas, because in some of these love poems, it's ideas. If I'm talking about taking someone to the winery or taking her shopping, going on the trip, those are ideas. Like someone could be, maybe they haven't done that for their woman before, or haven't done that in a while. It's like a reminder, oh, I need to take her away, take her on vacation, or rub her back, rub her feet, something, just those little things that I hope that people pick up on, like, oh, wow, I haven't done that in a while. Let me do this. Or if they haven't done it, it's an idea. Hey, try this. If she's a teacher, she's on her feet all day, or she's a, whatever, if she's on her feet all day, when she comes home, rub her back, rub her feet. I'm pretty sure someone would appreciate that. Just sweet things like that, just little reminders or suggestions. So that's what I hope that some people will get from my book.
Right, to really get into that sense of feeling, that area of thinking, kind of expanding their thoughts in terms of romantic love. And so it's for you, but yet it's shared out. And I love that it sounds like there's a lot of practical aspects to it, like rubbing someone's feet because they had a hard day, or taking them out somewhere that they enjoy. So it has a very, what it sounds like so far is like very down to earth type of, yeah, it's beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and let's dive into one of your poems, if you would, please.
Sure. Let me see. I haven't thought about which one that I would read with thinking. But I will, let's see. I'll read My Wonderful Woman. So bear with me. I'm still not used to reading. I have a bunch of YouTube videos, but still I'm not used to reading in front of a camera like this, but so bear with me. This poem is titled My Wonderful Woman. She puts her arms around me and chases all my worries away. She's my ribbon in the sky on a beautiful day. Wherever she is, that's my happy place. That's wherever I can receive her warm embrace. I know we're headed in the right direction because she's always giving me so much love and affection. I love reminiscing about our innocent beginning. The day I committed to her, I knew there would never be an ending. I was happy before this wonderful woman came into my life. Now I'm ecstatic and everything feels just right. They say love looks, they say, excuse me, they say a love like this is non-existent. I bet my life we go more than just a distance. She's such a beautiful and happy soul. She's the one. Together, we're gonna grow old. And I couldn't have asked for a better woman. She's so amazing, my wonderful woman.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, share with us what's that about, what the inspiration behind it, and kind of tap us into a little bit deeper into the poem.
Actually, each poem that I write, sometimes I may have experienced it, sometimes I haven't, because this could be about somebody else. Actually, this was about someone that I was involved with at one time. She inspired it, and that's how I felt about her. And so, yeah, I thought she was wonderful. I thought she was amazing. But yeah, she inspired this. So, but again, every poem is not about a particular woman. Sometimes, again, I can vibe off of a friend's conversation or anyone. So sometimes it's not always about me. I can just, it's the world. Like I said, I'm listening to coworkers, friends, family about their love, and it just inspires me to write. So some of these poems I can relate. Some of these poems involve me in them, and some of them don't. But this particular one did, yes.
Right. That's great. So just as you're like kind of doing your thing, you're at work or you're at the store or with friends, you hear different things, and then you get inspired, and you're like, you just hear something and you're like, okay, cool. Do you know at that moment you're gonna like pull from that in a poem, or does it just happen like when you sit down and write, and then you maybe have a memory recall of like, oh yeah, when I was in that situation talking with them, I remember they said that, I'm going to incorporate that in my writing, or how does that play out for you?
If I'm talking to someone, it's something that I'm like, wow, that is beautiful. I'm happy for you guys. I may I'll just remember it, and as soon as I get to, well, now I have my phone. I can go to my phone and I'll just text myself something that they said, or I might type one line and finish it later, or I might type the title of the poem, what it's going to be, and try to think back on the conversation and do it that way. So now, as I've gotten older, I've been writing, oh man, all kinds of ways. I can write one line, come back to it weeks later, or some of my poems, I might have written lines years ago and come back to them and finish them. And so I'm getting, the older I get, I guess I'm getting to be like a lazy writer. I'll write something down and I'll put it aside. But when I was younger, of course, I could be at a stoplight and write like 4 lines. I'll get out my pen and pad and write like 4 lines, light as green, then I go. But I was, or I'd pull over and write. I was like, when thoughts came to me when I was younger, I was just writing all the time. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, if I had a thought, I would just go with it. I'd wake up, turn the lights on, and I'm writing poems, and 2, 3 in the morning, writing. So I don't do that now.
Mhm. Yeah, but that's great though. You really pull in that moment. And as you were saying, you did that, quite a lot when, you're driving and all of a sudden, oh my God, this is a great idea, and you jot it down, or in the middle of the night, or what have you. So now we have, and have for a while, we have the ability to, take notes, have our poetry journal on our phone, and it sounds like you utilize that as well. And then even if it's just a simple line or some ideas, and then you kind of go back to it at the right moment, and then kind of let that germinate and flourish into a poem.
And also music. Sometimes I could be listening to the radio or whatever, and I might hear one word in the song that will set me off. Or one line. I might take a few words or one word from that line, and I could write a whole poem about it. Mm-hmm. So again, my inspiration comes from everything. And again, it's my inspiration comes from everything: music, other people, myself, and I put it all together and I get creative, and I write what I write. But definitely being creative, but it comes from everywhere.
Yeah. Khary, let's dive into another poem from Effortless Love.
Sure, let me see. We'll do Effortless Love. This relationship is blessed from above. It's beautiful. It's an effortless love because it's God sent, and we're both so blessed. In this love, neither one of us are ever stressed. Giving the glory always to God, of course. We're both so thankful for blessing us with a love that's so effortlessly wonderful. Praying with my best friend, my lover. Never any worries, because we're assured our love to each other. We don't just love each other, we are in love with each other. And both wholeheartedly know this love is heaven sent. Because we both effortlessly give 100%. It takes no effort to tell her always I love her. And it takes no effort for her to tell me always, I'm sorry. Again, I'm not used to reading like this all the time, so excuse me. It takes no effort to tell her always I love her. And it takes no effort for me to always hold and kiss her. She effortlessly always reciprocates. It's love that we both deserve and appreciate. We know each other's worth. For us, our love is the most important thing on this earth. Our attraction started from knowing what was inside in the beginning. Because beauty is skin deep, we both came out winning. Even though every box may not be checked, we're both fine knowing that this love will never be perfect. We know for good reasons God has brought us together. With flaws and all, nothing else can be better. Neither one of us wants for anything but each other, and it's inevitable. I'll be blessing her with that ring. There is no trying to make this work because it's blessed from above. And there's just no hard work at all in what we have, effortless love.
That was really
the title of the book.
Yeah, that was very touching and very deep, and very soulful. And so it seems like that's moving, Khary, in an area of like unconditional love, and also like heaven sent love, because there's a lot of references to God, and that we're blessed, and that this love is from God, and unconditional in the sense of, like you're saying, okay, there's like these human elements of flaws or this or that, but we know where our love comes from, and
Yes.
And kind of that love that is within. And just these beautiful things that you were saying were so touching, that just for you to say to her, I love you, it's just like you're saying, it's just effortless. You don't have to
Yeah,
think about it.
it should take nothing to say that if you really mean it.
Mhm. And then also you're saying like to hug her, hold her, to kiss her. It's just these things are just like effortless, and they come from within, and it's almost like you said, like the both of you knew that you're grounded in this love, and that's like kind of like the overlighting kind of premise of the relationship. Like no matter what happens in the relationship, day to day, week to week, however that long the relationship lasts for, that there is that foundation of love, and that carries you through. That's what I'm getting from it.
Yes, definitely. And that was me being creative. And actually, that poem came about from a conversation I was having with a friend. I forgot how, obviously, we were talking about relationships. And I'm not sure if she said it or I said it, but we always forget. But someone had mentioned it should be done effortlessly. I don't know if I said that or she said it, but I remember taking it. And when I got off the phone with her, I wrote down Effortless Love. And then I wrote the poem. And then it just became the title of the book. But it should be that way. It should be effortlessly. Again, to love, it should be effortlessly, but in your relationship, there's gonna have to be some kind of effort. You gotta, put some kind of effort to making this person happy and keeping them happy. So that does take effort. But just to love them, like I said, it's the things that they're about, the things that they do and say that should warm your heart and be like, I'm loving her or I'm loving him effortlessly. Like this is taking nothing, but to be in that relationship, it does take some kind of effort because you have to do something to keep them going.
Mhm. Right, right. Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Let's dive into another one.
Sure. What else we have here? I'm gonna find the one that I wrote that my family inspired me to write. This one's titled Everlasting Love, and this is inspired from family members of mine that've been married, I think about 60 years or more, I think, and it's called Everlasting Love. What we have in our love, there's so many beautiful things. Now I'm going from store to store looking at wedding rings. Yes, that's what's on my mind because I've known what I have is a rare find. After falling deep in love with you, I just knew no other woman could ever do. I adore you. I adore you constantly. I'm sorry, bear with me for a moment. I adore how you constantly assure your love for me, beautifully, verbally, and physically. Learning each other's love language from the start made it easy to capture each other's heart. It was so easy to love each other, but we're not perfect. Sometimes we argue like sister and brother. Yes, we have some ups and downs, but we still make it. As long as God is in our love, we're going to always make it. With God in our love, it's easy as we continue to love on each other effortlessly. Still, whenever I look into your pretty eyes, I see forever. And I just know, even if I tried, I couldn't have done any better. We bring so much joy to each other. People say we're beautiful, so much love. To some, it's unusual. My heart has never been so happy because we have a beautiful, everlasting love like Ernest and Maddie. As we continue to grow in love, it just gets greater, all thanks to our creator. Our December kiss during the Sagittarius season, yes, you hunted this hunter down for a beautiful reason. Since then, you're all I've ever been thinking of. Now look at what we have, this everlasting love.
That's beautiful. Moving into like an enduring and a love that is like not only effortless, but also, Khary, as you're saying, like everlasting, like an eternal love that is just ongoing. How beautiful.
Yes, and again, I have family members. I referenced them in here, Ernest and Maddie. That's my cousin and her husband, and they've been together, I want to say over 60 years married. And again, nothing is perfect, but it's worth it. They're still together, have a beautiful family. And I was just up there, I think maybe 2 years ago. I think I was visiting, I'm from New York, so I was up in New York, and they still have this spark. at their age. They still have this spark. I can see the love when they're around each other. And I just love that. And that it's inspired me to, think about them while I was writing this poem. I thought about them. I'm like, I want an everlasting love like them too, because it's beautiful, still going strong to this day.
Yeah.
I just think that's wonderful.
Yeah, that is a great inspiration. So when you were writing it, you took the inspiration from their enduring relationship and the love that's there and that's continued and that flourishes, but you also put yourself in those shoes as you were writing it that is something that you want as well. So it was like you were kind of mixing the perspectives. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I take their experience and I get creative and I put my own spin on it too. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Now let's move into the affirmations. Also in your book, you have love affirmations. I think that's so interesting to incorporate that in your book. What drove you to include the affirmations, and how do you want people when they read it to practice the principles of your affirmations?
These are relationship affirmations, and they're basically they're reminders from this is everything affirmations for if you're before you enter a love, while you're in a love, because sometimes we forget. Like I have the one like the same thing you did to get them is the same thing you need to do to keep them, because in the beginning you're the salesperson, you're selling yourself, and if you're really that person that you're selling, you should be that in the relationship. Like if you start your relationship out with the flowers, the candies, and the back rubs and all the nice things, and you're making dinner all the time for him or her or whatever, you should do that throughout your relationship. Once you, like while you're courting and you're doing all that, and then once you confirm your relationship, that shouldn't stop. It shouldn't be like, okay, I got it. I don't have to do anything. No, you got to still work. You may not have to do those things every single day, but throughout the journey of your relationship, the time of your relationship, you should be doing those things still, because that's what got him or that's what got her. And actually, let me see if I can find that one. I just explained it. I don't even have to talk about that because I just explained it. But it's basically the same honey you use to get them is the same honey you need to use to keep them. And I just explained it, what I wrote in the book. So, but that's it. Like you can't just stop. Once you get them, you can't just stop. Because again, you have to put some kind of effort into your relationship. So yeah, you have to keep going. You have to keep going with that.
Mm-hmm. So the book is like almost like a watering. It's like you keep watering the tree, the flower, the landscape.
Basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so the book is for obviously like anybody currently in a romantic relationship, but it's also like preparatory is what it sounds like. If you're before entering a relationship, or someone might be thinking about a romantic relationship that they want to manifest in their life, so then they can read your poems and your affirmations as kind of the preliminary part of kind of getting ready to know in a sense of what it's going to take, and getting some ideas and inspiration from your writing.
Exactly, but they could read this again, use the ideas and manipulate them for them to fit them, because not every relationship is going to be the same. You know what I mean? You should make your relationship your relationship. It can't be like anyone else's. Make it yours. I mean, others may mirror it, but think about you and that person. How do we want our relationship to be? Some relationships are similar, but you have to think you and that person, you and your woman, or you and your man. Think about you to what you want in your relationship. Because that's most important, because it's going to be you too.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Do you have a few more affirmations you could share with us?
Yes. And the thing is, I haven't been writing many poems lately, but I've been doing a lot of relationship affirmations, because I have been getting questioned, which I don't mind the questions. Like, I'm right. Hey, I'll talk to someone and this happened, or I might have been through that, This one, the title of this affirmation is called "Allow Yourself to Be Loved On, Make Time to Be Loved On, and Appreciate When Your Partner Wants to Love on You." In your relationship, you must allow yourself to be loved on by your partner. Accept those compliments, the touches, the real kisses, the looks they want to give you at times, because they are smiling at you because they love you and they like what they see. They are admiring your beauty. Those are just Those are just other ways of saying, I love you. Stop and make time to accept those things. Sometimes the joy is seeing your reaction to those things. It doesn't take much time to just stop and say, thank you, or let them know you appreciate it. If you can't spare 2 to 3 minutes for hugs, kisses, and compliments, then something is not right in your relationship. Last, appreciate when you are loved on by your partner. They are simply trying to adore you or make you feel good. Appreciate the fact that they are wanting to love on you and only you, because you wouldn't want them loving on someone else. No, that wouldn't be right. Accept that love always. They're wanting to make you happy or wanting to make you or wanting to keep you happy in the relationship. So take those words and touches. They're for you and only you. And I say that because sometimes people get so comfortable and so far in their relationship, like sometimes their woman, wife, man, or husband might want, hey, come here. And I've seen this. What? It's like, I just want to hug you. Can I have a kid? Like, sometimes they act like they don't have time for that. And I'm like, wow, that's not fair. It's like, are you tired of them? Like, you should never be tired of your partner, but I've seen that. I have seen that. And that's sad, like just for a few seconds, like again, there's 24 hours in a day. You can't take out a minute or two just to be loved on. You know what I mean? Like, parents and couples, they work or they deal with the kids all day. And sometimes, you and your girlfriend, the husband or whatever, you need time for yourselves. And again, sometimes people can't take 2 or 3 minutes of their day just for their partner, just to give a big hug, just hug for like a minute and a kiss. Like sometimes people do not have time for that. And I've seen it.
Mhm.
And that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah. And I love how you're like orienting us to, what is important in life. And okay, so there's going to be working and family life and all the different, responsibilities and
Yeah.
whatnot. But it's like you're saying, like, you have to have these moments where it's just natural for hugs and for kisses, hand holding, being
Yes.
together, and that's really, important. And if that's not there, you're just getting caught up in too many things, and you're really missing out on the essence of life, and the beauty of the moment and the beauty of each other and being together. Yeah, absolutely. And I also wanted to say, Khary, that I loved a couple of things that you points that you brought up that I thought were just phenomenal. One of them was a receptivity, because in this affirmation you were saying be open to with your significant other when they want, a hug or a kiss, or showing some display of affection, or maybe it's something verbal, whatever it is. Because I think that a lot of people, in some respects, I think all of us have experienced this, if there's anything having to do with a sense of unworthiness or self-esteem issues, you can, consciously or unconsciously be pushing love away. So you remind
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're reminding us to say, look, when it's presented to you, receive it, accept it, it's a gift. And then the other area you were going in, which I love, was also acceptance or gratitude, that when you receive that, be grateful for it. And also you were saying to acknowledge it. So I love all those points that you brought up.
And those are the points I was trying to make, and be sincere about it. Like take the time to think about it. Okay, she or he's just trying to make me feel good. I need to realize that. I need to embrace this. I need to accept this. And when you say thank you, be sincere about it. Because some people, okay, thanks for the hug. No, be sincere about it, because again, not that no, and this does happen, people go outside of their relationship. They should not do that, but they do that. And why did you go outside of it? Because I wasn't getting that affection from you. I just wanted to hug you, and this woman's let me hug, which is wrong. You shouldn't do that. But then you get to thinking, dang, all he wanted was a hug or a little bit of affection. And he's tried to talk to me about it, or she's tried to talk to me about it, and I just wasn't open to it. And so we don't want to go that far. Going outside of your relationship is totally wrong. Have a conversation with your partner first. Don't even go outside of a relationship. End it here first. If your partner is not that type of person, or maybe there could be something going on in their life, so maybe you might have to end that relationship, unfortunately. But I'm always saying, do not go outside your relationship, because I'm totally against that. I've had it happen to me before. I know how that feels. It's very unfair. So at least have a conversation with your partner. But then again, these are things that you should have in the beginning, because some people aren't very affectionate people. And so we need to talk about why they're not, and maybe try to change that, because it's not fair. You know, love is you give love, you receive love. It should be both ways, you know.
And I love that too. That's another great point, is like opening up the doors of communication, just verbally,
Have to
sharing.
communicate.
Yeah, at just an honest level, and sharing that, and within the romantic relationship. And it sounds like you really wear the hat also of like psychologist and counselor. That seems to be kind of like what's going on.
Nah, people think that. Like in my YouTube videos, I always say like these are just thoughts and opinions from myself and like-minded people. And I stress, even in the book, I stress that I'm no doctor or relationships counselor at all, by far. No, I'm not. These are, to me, this stuff is just common sense. You know, it's just things I think of and hear from other people, and it's just common sense things.
Okay, so you don't feel that you wear that hat.
Not really. I can give, like, if someone, and some friends do, we talk, and they confide in me, and I can give my opinion. But I don't have the you have the final say. If I give you my opinion or suggestions or something, you can use it or not. I don't feel like I'm a professional. I know I'm not a professional, but I think I say things that make sense. They make sense to me, but they might not make sense to you. You might listen and like, thank you, but I'm not going to use that. And I'm fine with that, because again, I'm no doctor. I haven't studied this or nothing like that. I'm talking from my experiences and other people's experiences and things that I've seen. So good and bad. So, but love doctor, I'm not. People say, you're the love doctor. No, I'm not. The love doctor's single. So what does that tell you,
I'd like to also look into a couple questions. So you have been writing poetry for a while. I know in your bio you were saying you have like over 2,000 poems, and you really come from the heart. That's really evident, and I so admire that. Now, a man or male that might be watching this that may not have the fluidity and that you do with writing and being able to express this, and maybe they're in a romantic relationship, or maybe they're not, but just being able to express that when they are in one, or just in general, how would you guide them to be able to express themselves at the level of the heart?
They could start with poetry. I've had some people, a friend of mine, she said, my friends buy my books as well. And she said her husband never wrote a poem in his life, wrote one for her. And it doesn't have to be perfect. A poem is what is your feelings, and it's what you put in it and what you say in it. So you can write something, just write a poem. It could be, again, it's what you're feeling for this person. It's what that person brings out in you. Put it into paper and let them know, this is how you make me feel. And you put that into poetry and you give it to your lady or your man, and that should be very appreciated. Yes.
Yeah. What have we not touched upon in Effortless Love that you'd like to share with us?
I think we touched on everything, but just, again, I'm a lover boy. Love is beautiful. And it's like, when I see some people who have it, like I have some of my friends who have been married for a while or been in relationships for a while. I love it. I think it's beautiful, because also never look for nothing perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Some people, when they look for relationships, they want the perfect. I have this list of 10 things that is a must, and God has to be 10 things. You're not going to get that, because we all have flaws. No one is perfect. You may get this, but you're not going to get that. You're going to get that, but you're not going to get this. So I would say never look for people that's going to be perfect, because I never wanted the perfect woman. I wanted the perfect woman for me. But the perfect person for you, you're not going to find that. You're never going to find that.
Well, we have a few more minutes.
Mhm.
Khary, I would like to just tap into your writing style. So we know that you're influenced and inspired by so many different things, whether it's your family, your conversations, as we're saying, or being at work, or out and about. That is very strong contender for you to just start to write. So now, when you're actually writing your poem, can you talk to us about the flow of it, how you like to write, your writing style, your editing style, so we can get just like a little bit of a feel when you're actually in that creative zone, actually writing.
Oh yeah, sometimes when I start writing, if it's been a while since I've written anything, it starts off a little rough. Again, I'm pulling things that I might have jotted down on paper or things that I put in my phone, um, and I put it all together. But once I get hot and when I'm really going, I can spit out a few poems in a day. I might get out 2 or 3 poems, sometimes four in a day. It depends on what I'm going through and how I'm feeling. Because again, this is my emotional outlet. I use this when I'm happy, when I'm sad. I can write about happy things when I'm sad, and I can write about sad things when I'm happy. It's just where I'm at the moment. I just get creative and I just write. So sometimes it's hard for me to write. And once if I'm struggling to write something, to finish a poem, I'll stop, because then for me, it's not going to make sense. I'm really pulling from everywhere to try to write a poem. So I try to make it make sense to me. But once I'm going, and I can just write all day if you let me.
Mhm. So once you get in that flow, you're going, going, going. But as you're saying, if you feel like there's that little bit of a writer's block and it's just like, pulling and it's tugging, then you just stop. You say, okay, it's just not in
Yes,
the moment, and you'll get back to it when it feels more
yes.
conducive.
Because I've written a lot of poems. I've thrown away a lot of poetry. Because I might write something and I'll go back and read it, and I'll be like, I'll delete. Sometimes I write in a pad, sometimes I'll write in my laptop, and I'll go back and read it, and I'll either rip it up and throw it away, or I'll delete that file because that poem, I'm not feeling it anymore. So I was told to stop doing that, but it's kind of hard for me to do. Like, I'll just write something, I'll write a whole poem, and I might can go back and read it, and I'm just not feeling it. And I will just delete it, or I'll rip the page out and throw it away.
Hmm. And I
That's
think
a
that
problem.
Well, I think that goes back to, like you were saying initially, like you write for you. So, in other words, like what I'm getting from that is that you need to really feel it. So, if you've already written it, and like you were saying in that example, then you go back the next day or next week or whenever it is, and you are reading it, and you're like, okay, now you're seeing it maybe with different eyes and seeing it a little
Yeah,
bit differently. You're not feeling it. Then you're like, that goes in the trash. So
yeah,
so that's like, you really have to feel it. And that has to like really line up with your senses, with your soul, with all your sensibilities. And then you're like, okay, cool. That's one. That's complete. There we go.
exactly. Like I said, I definitely have to feel it. And sometimes I could be writing a heartbreak poem. I've written a lot of those. But sometimes they will be good, but I can go back and I'll delete those or throw those away, because to me, that's like negative energy. Like once I get past, I'm going through something, I'll write it all down. And then once I'm past it, I can go back and rip those poems up, because to me, I don't even want that negative energy in the pad or on the file. So I'll just delete it or rip it up out the page, and just throw it away, because to me, that's negative energy. But any other poem, sometimes I'm just not feeling. But those, like if I'm writing something about a heartbreak, I'm feeling those, but I don't want to be nowhere near it. I'm past it. I want that negative energy totally gone. And
Right.
so for poems like that, yeah, to me it's negative energy, and I just want them gone. I'm done with it. I
Right.
wrote out my feelings, and I'm past that feeling, and I'm over it.
Right. That's really cool, and that's where the healing aspect of poetry comes in, because you're getting it out, and that was in that particular moment. That was the purpose of that writing. It was just healing, and it was releasing,
Yes,
and that's it. So that's an interesting difference between writing when it's like therapeutic, and how
very
that
therapeutic.
right, and how that plays out for you. And then other times when you're writing, and it still could be therapeutic, but it has like that different type of energy, like you're saying, when you're like over it, it's done. It has like
Mhm.
that, what you were saying, like negative energy, and you're done with it.
Yeah,
Sometimes you could be writing, and it has that whole, different kind of quality to it. And then that's something that is substantive, and that you stick with. It's interesting how you kind of you know reference the different types.
yes.
Yeah. Now, just tying everything back to when we first started this interview, you were saying you want people to think and you want people to feel. So, as we're getting ready to conclude the interview, what do you want people to think, and what do you want people to feel when they're reading Effortless Love or some of your other books, or your poetry and writing? What's important to you?
what's important for them. I want them to think about if they're in a relationship, think about what's going on in their relationship. If there's any gaps that they can fill. If there's anything missing, like I said, I'm just trying to spark ideas. Again, there's ideas in some of these books that I write, and with the affirmations, those are common sense things that to remind you to do certain things in your relationship, or if you're looking for a relationship, certain things you need to do before your relationship, questions that you should ask. But yeah, I just want them to hopefully this makes them feel positive. Like if they read this book and they're doing all these things, which is a good thing too, then they have nothing to worry about. They can just read and let these poems warm their hearts.
I love that. Yeah, it's to warm their hearts. That's great. Khary, we do need to conclude the show for today. We would like to offer you the closing comments, anything that you would like to share with us, and let us know how we can stay connected with you.
Definitely. You can stay connected with me through YouTube. If you put in Khary Tolliver, my name on YouTube, all of my videos will come up. There's over 30 videos on there. Also, I'm on Instagram. What's my Love Poems and Affirmations on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook as well under my name, Khary Tolliver. But those are ways they can get a hold of me. But also, my closing remarks is if you're in love, if you have a good person, hold on to them. And just remember, nothing is ever going to be perfect, but make sure what you have is worth it. And just stay in love and stay in your relationship and stay blessed. And if you're praying people, pray together. That's a beautiful thing too. That helps you stay together too. If you're both praying to the same God, that's a beautiful thing. So pray together, but definitely stay in your relationship and just know that nothing is ever going to be perfect, but make sure it is worth it.
Beautiful closing comments. Thank you so much, Khary, for sharing your love of poetry, writing.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And Effortless Love. Now, where can people find to get a copy of your Effortless Love?
Amazon.com. If you click on the tab, that it'll go down, it'll say books, click on books and put in my first and last name, and all of my books will come up, but definitely Effortless Love will come up on Amazon Books.
Okay. Thank you so much again for being our guest, Khary.
My pleasure.
Today, and wishing you much love on Valentine's Day and now and always. And thank you for sharing what love means to you and helping us to kind of dive into romantic relationships and look at them, as you said, from a common sense perspective, and also from a higher level as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching Art and Talk today. We always appreciate the time you take to watch our art videos. Please stay connected with us on our Facebook page. Please like and follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Be on the lookout for new artist interviews, and we have over about 140 artist interviews, so please take a moment to watch them and draw some inspiration from them. And wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day, wishing that love fills your life and always. And we'll talk soon on the next Art and Talk. Until then, be well and be blessed.